Yep, that's fine. Take your time. Take your time. All right. Okay, good evening. Let's call our meeting to order. It is Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 7 o'clock. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mark Vance.
Here.
Dan Cheek.
Here.
Christy Richardson.
Here.
Aaron Zito.
Here.
Dave Allgood.
Here.
Sine Hubbard. Chris Tompkins. David Howe.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No phone participation this evening. Do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move to approve tonight's agenda. Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tonight's agenda is passed. Do we have a motion to discuss and approve Board of Trustee meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2026? Motion by Sine, second by Dave. Any questions on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Board of Trustee meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2026 has passed. Motion to discuss and approve special Board of Trustee meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mark.
Second.
Second by Sine. Any questions or changes on this item? Barring none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, special Board of Trustee meeting minutes from April 22nd is passed. Public comment?
One.
Okay. Karen? Is that one on?
Yes, I know that Illinois 173 is not village property per se, but it's a major way of getting into our village. And I was wondering if you had any information as to when it was going to be resurfaced coming into the village. And if so, could you give us some kind of
Okay, thank you. Last I heard, it's been pushed. Chris, have you heard? It was last time I saw like the IDOT numbers, it was like 2030.
Oh.
Multi-year program lately, Justin, have you, 2030?
Yeah. Yeah.
For our section of it?
Yeah. Same. It's right now it's all one project as far as I understand from us all the way through Capron. I will tell you that I know from my conversations with IDOT District 2, I have continually brought up our concern to find a way to get that done. We have our current legislators and representatives who are also having those conversations with District 2 to try to push them along, if you will. So if we get any movement out of that, I will absolutely share, that. So, okay. I'm going to take a moment. Chris has some things he'd like to share before we move on.
Just two real quick updates. First, if you haven't been down to the airport and looked at Bel Air North, I would encourage you to take a drive down there. They've got pretty much all the rough grading done now, so you can really kind of see the shape of subdivision, and it looks really nice. They've done a nice job. And then secondly, on the MFT program, we've marked all the streets, so if you get called about, pink paint marks in the streets, trim the curbs, that's just us. We've been out surveying. We're trying to get the initial submittal to IDOT yet this week. I think I'm going to have a conflict on the 27th, so I'm here tonight, but there will be an authorization of bid resolution on the agenda for the 27th.
Anything else, Chris?
That'll do it.
Okay, thank you. All right, unfinished business. Motion to discuss and approve resolution 2026-22, a resolution of the Village of Poplar Grove Illinois, authorizing the village president to execute an agreement with Tilford Towing and Recovery LLC for towing and disposal services of abandoned and/or inoperable motor vehicles, including vehicles improperly parked during periods of snow emergency within the village.
Motion to approve resolution 2026-22.
Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Dan. All right. Are there any questions on what is before you? None? Okay, barring none, roll call.
Sine Hubbard. Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-22 has passed. Do we have a motion to discuss and approve Resolution 2026-20, a resolution of the Village of Poplar Grove, Illinois, approving and authorizing the village president to execute an agreement with Poplar Grove Lions Charities, Inc., aka the Poplar Grove Lions Club, for the cooperative development of village-owned property?
Motion to approve resolution 2026-20.
Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Dan. Would either one of you gentlemen like to just give an update to the last conversations that you met with the club?
There really wasn't much on the last one. It was, I mean, it was all pretty straightforward on that last one. There was one item and it ended up staying the same anyways. I believe because of, legal reasons. It had to stay the way it was. But they agreed to it. So the final draft is what you have before you. And it went really well. I thought it's a good agreement.
Yep. I would like to personally thank the board that was represented for the Lions Club. They were very cooperative, and they wanted to make an equitable deal that protects themselves and also protects the village.
Any questions?
I looked it over, everything looks really good, and, thank you both for, representing us during that. I think you were the right choice for that subcommittee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure. Wasn't at the beginning, but it ended up being a pleasure.
Well, and I think we were able to get a lot of the other concerns in here, so, which is great. Barring no other questions, comments, roll call.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Dave Allgood.
No.
Sine Hubbard. Chrissy Richardson.
Yes. Resolution 2026-20 passes. Motion to discuss 101 North State Street easement, Veteran Park Jelly Beans.
Motion to discuss 101 North State Street.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Dan. Okay, so, and I'm sure that Aaron can probably tap in here too. So as we were working through the easement, the access easement agreement, we went to go draft the legal description, only to discover that GIS is correct in the sense that there is a portion of the building that is actually on public property. So Chris had the surveyor out, and when we made this kind of discovery by about at least a foot, and we wanted to make sure that we came back to the board before we went and decided to do anything else. What the suggestion is to go have a plat drawn, and it's going to cost about $2,400 to do that. And I'm sure that Chris and Aaron can fill in any questions that you guys may have, but that's why it's back before you. So.
And you said the survey was out there and that, I mean,
So like the GI, yeah, so
Here,
Chris,
I'll pull
that you sent out,
Yeah, if you look on GIS, most of the time the property lines on GIS are,
yeah.
if you.
questionable sometimes.
Plus or minus 2 feet is probably a pretty decent rule of thumb. I can show you some that are 15 feet off. But, so, when you're looking at something on GIS, it's always a little questionable.
Oh, look, that's
These are
what I was
actually
here.
fairly accurate. What the surveyor found when he went out was that the building is actually encroaching over the property line on the south side by about a foot or 14 inches. Somewhere in there. And so the easiest way to remedy that is to simply subdivide the property so that the building is on one parcel. And then.
Oop, too
in the same
far,
plat,
too
we
far.
grant the access easement.
There you go. Go start.
Aaron, anything you wanna add?
Nope. That's pretty much it. You know, at the end of the day, you're basically looking to just redraw that lot so that it's all the buildings all on the lot. Taking into consideration necessary setbacks and stuff like that. So you're just basically looking to redraw that off rectangle.
Wonder how they manage that.
We don't know either.
You know, this was done 100 years ago.
Well, I mean, I can see it. Honestly, it's funny because I was just looking at mine. I still have the original plat, and my house is the same way. The property line, there is from front corner to back corner, the property line is like 9 inches difference, and you can see the house is cocked on the property. So it just it's happened, I guess, more than once in this town.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we just want to make sure that obviously it's an error and it needs to be fixed. But we wanted to make sure that the board was aware and have their questions answered and come to a consensus to proceed so that we can have it corrected properly. So. Are there
I think it's kind of imperative.
questions? No?
Right, so barring the fact that there's no one objecting to moving forward with this path or this path of them, Chris and I will move forward with this plan of action to have
Sure.
a new plat created. for
And
this
that
lot.
way and then once that's done, then we can proceed with the actual, what we started with, which is the access easement agreement.
Yep.
So, and that can be finished and corrected.
Right, and this will have to, because it's a new plat, it'll have to go through planning and zoning commission as all plats do. So I mean, we'll run it through the proper channels.
All right. Okay. All right, moving on. Motion to discuss the Boone County Highway Bike Lane Project in the amount of $87,407.70 for the presentation from Boone County Engineer Justin Crone. Boone County Highway Bike Lane Project. Motion by Sine.
Second.
Second by Dan. Justin, do you want to give the board a rundown of what we're talking about here so they can ask any questions?
Thank you for having me. I'm Justin Crone, the Boone County engineer. A couple of years ago, I was driving northbound on Poplar Road, and it was during preseason football practice, and there was a young student walking southbound right on the Aggregate Road, and became very apparent that a dangerous situation, given the speed and proximity to vehicles passing. And so, we started to look at trying to widen that road and allow for pedestrians or bicyclists. And we have been working on this for a number of years. Late last fall, we applied for a R1PC grant. It's a TAP grant it's a federal grant through the Regional Planning Council. And we were successful. We received an award of just over $1 million. And I have in front of you on your packet some of the breakdown of the cost of the project and some of the information. The award was $1,271,066. So, and that represents about 80% of construction engineering. So I have presented this to the county board, and they've asked me to proceed. What I come to you tonight with is asking for a participation from the village on 20% level. That's the portion of the road that is within the village limits. There's about a half a mile, the south half mile just north of 173 is in the village limits, and the remaining portion is county. And so our portion that we are contributing is about 350, and yours is 87,000 roughly. We also are going to be administering the grant and doing all the paperwork, which Chris or anybody else that's dealt with federal grants, that in and of itself is a challenge and very time consuming. So we're doing that. We're also looking at a couple other grants to support this project, and we believe that we'll be successful in that. So The amount will not exceed, the 87,000, for the participation that we're asking for. The cross-section, as you can see on the screen, is 12 feet for the standard road and then plus 5 feet for the widened road. That widened portion through this grant would be termed a bike lane. It would be pavement markings would indicate bike lane. Obviously, if vehicles need to pull over, farm implements, safety issues, it serves multiple purposes. So it's definitely a safety improvement, and I do believe it's a good infrastructure improvement for county and the village. I'm available to any questions.
Would you speak to the timeline, please, Justin?
Yep, so the grant is for the fiscal year 2027. So that would be next year. We hope to go out to bid next year.
And for the board's reference, it would be our fiscal 28. Okay, so it would not impact this fiscal budget cycle. Their fiscal cycle starts at a later time of year than ours does. So we would be into fiscal. What they need from us is the commitment, if you will, that we want to participate, so that we would earmark those funds come fiscal 28. So I'd ask, otherwise we'll obviously impact their grant and their other project. So that's why I'd ask Justin to come and so do a presentation.
Yeah, and if we have a positive indication tonight, we would go back and draft with the state's attorney. We would draft a intergovernment agreement and bring that to you at a future time as well. So you're probably in a month or so.
You talked about pursuing other grants. Is there something that we should be doing at our level as well, or is that potentially?
I'll take care of it all. The other grant that I'm going to be submitting for this month would be a TARP grant, Truck Access Route Program grant, and that would also help with the roadway. So at the end of the project, you'll have a widened paved shoulder, 5 foot, and you'll have a repaved roadway. Poplar roadway will be repaved as well. So for $87,000, this is a cold in place recycling. So this is 5 inches of milling up that road, injecting new oils, and laying it up, and then putting a 2-inch mat, I believe, on it. So that in and of itself is for half a mile. 87,000 is a pretty good bargain. It will not exceed that. Like I said, I'm going to go after a TARP grant as well to help support this project and perhaps bring that number down.
So you said it's gonna get resurfaced as well within a half mile, all the way across, and it's 5 feet each lane?
Yes. We started environmentally, Justin. We have. It's been submitted.
I guess one of my bigger concerns is right there. I know that sinks all the time right there. I know it's been repaired once. I mean, we'd have to address that, I'd imagine, beforehand, wouldn't we, before resurfacing that area?
Where are you talking?
Just north of 173 here, I think it's a manhole right there, isn't it? Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it's pretty drastic, and
Try to show.
I know it was repaired once, and then it seems like it got drastic again. I think that we definitely have to look into that before repaving anything.
Wait, here, let's just go
I
back.
mean, it's kind of pointless to fix it if it's just gonna,
This way?
It's yeah, keep going. You gotta push. You go. State Street, now go north.
yeah.
So here's Grove down here.
Yeah, right.
It starts at, this is our section, and it goes north,
That manhole right there.
right here.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant,
You can
significant.
see
dip.
where we
Yeah, I
repaired
mean,
it once.
it was repaired once, but I mean, it's an issue. I mean, and if you're gonna put that money in and, try to resurface that area. I guess my only other concern would be, I know there's a lot of farm entrances or into their fields there. I mean, does that all land into easement? Where their entrances are coming out of their farm fields?
So our intent is not to purchase any right of way. We're going to stay within the existing right of way.
Yeah.
All entrances will be maintained, so there will be, if it's an existing access point, it will be resurfaced as an existing access point. We will not be changing the access. There is an opportunity to change. The cross section I presented is our rural cross-section for the county. When we get into the city, I'll work with David and Chris on the cross-section that you desire and that's consistent with what you're looking for. So that might change a little bit with curb and gutter and potentially maybe sidewalks, getting them off the street and getting them on the sidewalks. IDOT is aware of this program in our intent, and they will be matching when they come through and do 173. They'll be matching into whatever we have established. So.
You made a comment, David, but was it relevant? I didn't hear it. You two were talking.
Yeah, regarding that culvert or
Yeah.
manhole there, yeah, I'm assuming that area either, like Chris said, that pipe is failing, or it's more compaction around the pipe and it will allow the road to settle out. I mean, it's definitely something that before this project gets going, we would want to address.
Yeah.
I think, isn't that the AT&T?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's like a utility manhole and there's.
It's Frontier, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just, it's substantial. Like,
Yeah.
people usually go in the other lane.
And I think the other thing that the board just needs to be aware, right, that there's an opportunity cost here, right? So we will be displacing other roadway to do this project. And I just want that to be clear. And as long as we're comfortable with that, then we can proceed. So I just want to make that known. Not that I dislike the project, I just think it's fair that we know that this money will displace other monies for other roadway.
Yeah.
So,
How soon you needed the commitment?
From the county board already, the letter from R1PC went out on the 11th. They're looking for us to do our own grant agreement in June. So I was hoping to have kind of an informal or
a consensus.
tonight, and then come back to this body in June with the formal agreement.
And the only reason I asked is because, I'd like for them to investigate that because of potential added cost on the village. If they had to cut that all up, repair all that, prior to any of this being done,
Chris,
if that's a major
Can
issue.
you give some insight to, like, we've had other places in town where we've had some sinking due to poor compaction, blah, blah, blah. What have you seen in terms of cost, just to kind of give the board some ballpark-esque numbers?
Yeah, I mean, it's more than likely, something to do with the structure, or something underneath the road, we've got some poor soils in there. I can't imagine we're looking at much more than $8,000 or $9,000 to, if we had to core out a foot, bring in some stone, maybe put some geogrid in there to shore things up. If the soils are really bad, if there's a repair that needs to be made in the manhole, that might not even be ours, if that's a utility manhole, and they end up being, utilities to repair. So probably the next thing to do is just to go pop the cover and see what's going on out there and get a hold of Frontier. But I don't think we're looking at it.
Yes.
To Justin's point, I mean, right now, just on a rural stretch of roadway, we're seeing 100,000 miles to resurface just with like a 1.5-inch mat. This is a much deeper program that Justin's doing with the Golden Place Recycle. It strengthens the pavement a lot, and we do get a lot of farm implements and heavy trucks coming down that section of roadway to access the granary. So I think we resurfaced our section maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and it's in pretty bad shape. So this is a welcome improvement. I think it's money well spent.
Board, is there, yeah, go ahead, Justin.
And I would even, I concur with the numbers that Chris mentioned as far as the reconstruction manhole. I even go a little bit further and say that this $87,000 commitment, we can hold that as a max do not exceed. And I'm comfortable saying that because we've got enough grant money and contingencies in there to cover those kind of things. So when we write, and if you want to make your motion or your action, I'm very comfortable at that as a not to exceed number, and including any reconstruction activities within the right.
Yeah, the best we can do is for a discussion. Yeah, is to get a consensus for us to proceed and have Justin, draft something and come back to us. So, do we have a Mark, Dan?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Dave? Okay. Then we'll proceed. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. All right, moving on. Motion to discuss and approve Resolution 2026-21, a resolution of the Village of Poplar Grove, Illinois, authorizing the village to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Boone County for animal control services.
Move to approve this, or discuss approve resolution 2026-21.
Motion by Dan,
Second.
second by Mark. All right, I'm gonna start this one off. So back in July or August of last year, there was a meeting in reference to the budget shortfalls that the animal services were dealing with. And they came up with the option to basically bill for those services, and they're going to need to. And this is countywide, so I don't want to just think it's just us. And so after going back and forth with legal, this is what has been drafted. So we ensured that they do by statutory have certain things that they have to do that they cannot charge us for, which has been outlined in this draft. I don't know, Aaron, do you have other things to add?
So just the highlights. Move this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the statutory items are specifically, you know, enumerated out, like, so if there's like a rabies situation, you know, those are things that they're going to have to provide without care, but anything else, you know, if there's a call or, you know, for to, you know, pick up an animal or something like that, then there's a rate chart that they charge for it. There, it is a 1 year agreement there, so it kind of allows us to try it out for a year and see what happens, see if it's working for everybody. If it's not working, then we can go back to the table and try to, you know, renegotiate at that point there. So we did keep it as a shorter agreement, just because this is uncharted territory. This, you know, in the entire county, there's never been an agreement like this for any of the communities. So we're all just trying it out to see what happens. You know, there's no, unfortunately, because it hasn't been done before, there's no baseline to determine, oh, well, what might a yearly cost look like? You know, we don't know how many animals they're going to get called to pick up or anything like that, which is why I think a 1 year agreement makes sense.
It just to help them kind of stay afloat.
Yeah, so from the meeting I attended, unfortunately, the way that the base funding is supposed to be is that people are supposed to register their animals, right, for their rabies and so on and so forth. And if everyone in the county would just do that, then they would cover a lot of their budgetary shortfalls. But we have citizens who choose not to do so, and so they're at a point where they have no choice is to look for revenue sources to be able to continue offering services.
I remember a couple of years ago when they just closed the doors for a minute. They had to. They lost everybody, and because they were just had no money.
COVID times, yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of a guinea pig situation. See how it works.
Yep.
I mean, the alternative is they don't do animal control then on the
I don't really
non-statutorily
think it's
required
a
things. So,
huge issue in this town that I know of, anyways.
and so and that's why it's great that it's 1 year, because who knows, maybe it's 3 calls a year for all we know, right? We just, you
Yeah,
know,
we
at this
just
point,
don't.
we don't have that data, so.
You know, and we just need to be clear, like it's not always going to be us calling, right? It's not us calling because we have a situation. Residents can call, you know, for these services, and we're going to get the bill. So I just want to be clear that that's going to happen, right? Because obviously we're not here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to be the outlet for these calls. So, but I don't, at the same time, like, don't believe that we really have much of a choice other than, I mean, we're not going to set up our own animal control services either, right? So,
I have a question.
please go ahead, Mr. Allgood.
So there are some enforcement actions that the county animal control can elect, correct?
What do you mean?
Please
by that?
elaborate.
Against maybe, a pet owner or something of that sort. So there are some enforcement actions.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
say so.
So
Yeah.
I guess in my question, does this, IGA leave them responsible for handling enforcement actions on situations inside of the village?
I don't think we currently enforce any like animal issues anyways right now. I think that it's through the county, I would think. Like, so let's say like if my dog was off running off without a leash there, I don't think the village prosecutes those right now.
Mm-mm. No, it all goes through the county.
Yeah. So to that end, yeah, the enforcement is through the county there.
And
And
this coordinates with our current ordinances?
Yeah.
Do we have any current ordinances on animal control?
I don't
No,
believe so.
we refer to the county on everything. The only thing is noise. We have had like barking dog that we will go out and investigate. And then obviously our hen
Hens. Yep,
ordinance.
and the hens.
Hens, rooster.
And we can issue a citation for something like that?
Yes, and we have.
So are we gonna continue that practice, or would the county be responsible for that type of action under this IGA?
I think that's still us.
Yeah.
That's still
That's
us.
specifically.
It's our ordinance.
Yeah.
I think this is probably more contemplating the situations where, you know, if there's an animal that might be rabid or something like that, or you know, dogs that are running at large, and the such, there.
I think there's been a few circumstances in the past too where there have had animals that needed to be removed due to some sort of accident or violent issue or something of that nature, or there was an issue with the homeowner and the animals are left behind, something
Yes.
of that
Yeah,
that kind of a situation. You know, they've been called out to address those types of situations as well. So I don't think it's extensive by any means, but those are the other few that I've been aware of.
Yeah, I'm just asking the questions because I want to, you know, understand that the current village ordinance is not encumbered or obstructed by the IGA, and that the village is not going to see a huge increase in managing this financially.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk. I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean,
we don't have any
obviously-
data.
Right. We don't know at the end of the day right now, the county is providing certain services, right? As far as animals go.
Right.
All this is, they're going to continue to do those things, but they're going to, now it comes with a fee to us, you know, to all of us, all the communities in Boone County, because where they used to do it for free, they're just saying, hey, in order for me to continue to do what I've been doing, I have to charge you something now for it. So it's not that they're taking a bigger role or a smaller role. They're going to be doing the exact same thing, but they're charging a fee now for the things that they're allowed to charge a fee for. There's some things that they have to do under state statute and they're not going to charge for those things. But anything that's not necessarily obligatory on them, but they have been doing, then they're going to charge for it. The alternative there is to say, well, yep, your community, since we're not obligated to do it, but we have been doing it, you can set up your own animal control and do it. And I think that in one of the preambles, the whole point was the fact that it's probably not cost efficient for us to set up our own for the, you know, few cases that we might get. But the hard part is I say few, but I don't know. You know, we don't have the data on that. We just don't know how prevalent it, which is why this is a 1-year agreement, just so that we can kind of figure it out and see, you know, well, what do those numbers look like?
And could any of these possible charges coming from the county animal control be can we pursue action against the property owner ourselves to recover?
Sure. I mean, I like, for example, like in the city of Freeport, they have their own animal control division within there, and so when their employees in the animal control division go out and have a situation where they find an animal that or a property owner that's in violation of city ordinance, that runs through their code administrative adjudication there, but they're set up to do that, and they have enough animals there to take care of that situation. I don't think any of I don't even know well, Rockford might, but I can say that in our communities, whether it's Rockton, Sapaloit, you know, Cherry Valley, stuff like that, communities that are smaller in size, I don't even think McChesney Park or Loves Park do their own animal control, you know, being close to 25,000 people. Rockford might, I don't even know if Rockford does for certain. I think they might all rely on Winnebago County. Yeah.
And as being able to pass that back through, I'm not sure what we would have to do. I don't know if our ordinance would have to be created to, like, if there's an infraction, or whatever, and that we're allowed to then bill for them. I'm not sure how that would.
And that's the hard part with a lot of these
Yeah.
infractions, unless you have an ongoing full-time staff to do this, is you got to go out with your staff and you actually you got to witness a violation.
Yeah.
You have to see that dog running out at large or whatever it is, and a lot of times, I saw that, whatever there. Okay, by the time code enforcement gets out there, well, the animal's gone. I didn't see anything. So.
But in the reverse cases, I'm also trying to think, like, in the cases of like noise or like the hens, right? The first thing that we do though is send code enforcement out first, right, to make sure, and then we go through the proper NOV process to try to see if we can get them to come into compliance. If they don't come into compliance, in the cases of hens and those, then we would get, in this case, animal control involved. Just to be clear what that process would look like.
I will tell you, in another municipality I used to work for, similar size, they're a little smaller than here. They had a similar IGA to this, and it was 14. You're talking like 14 calls for the last year I worked there. For the whole year. I mean, it's not.
I don't think the cost would be substantial enough to offset the 1-year contract to gather the data.
Yeah.
And then we'd have a baseline to go. I mean, for 1 year, not knowing, that sucks. But I don't think it's going to be a substantial cost. I don't think there's enough need for it in this town that it's going to upset any of the budget and the amount of calls we're going to get to gather that data.
No, I don't necessarily think that it's a budgeting issue. I think it's more of a principle. Your dog causes an infraction and the village pays the fine.
Well, I get,
And so my question is, at what point in time do you care that your dog caused an infraction and the village paid the fine?
Well, I don't know if it's that we're paying the fine. We're paying for the
We're paying-
service
we're
call.
paying for the service, which would ultimately be
'Cause
part of
the person
of
might
the
still
recovery.
get the fine. I mean, the county might still prosecute the person. They may still have to pay the fine.
And depending on where we are in the
so-
NOV process, right, if they're not in compliance, then we can assess penalties and it would go to adjudication. So there's still those potentials to recoup some of those service costs, if you will. Any other questions? No? Barring none? Okay, should we have a roll call?
It's a resolution.
Dave Allgood,
Yes.
Sine Hubbard, Mark Vance,
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-21 for Animal Control Services IGA passes. All right, motion to discuss and approve check disbursements for payment scheduled to be paid April 28th, 2026 in the amount of $2,500 in AP checks.
Move to approve amount of 2,500 in AP checks.
Motion by Dan,
Second.
second by Mark. This is merely on here because we needed to process a check that you didn't have an opportunity to look beforehand for $2,500. It was for the EPA so we could disperse the sludge, and it was needed. So I just wanted to make sure that it was called out separately. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Mark Vance,
Yes.
Sine Hubbard, Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Check disbursement for $2,500 in AP checks passes. Do we have a motion to discuss and approve check disbursement for payment scheduled to be paid on May 14th, 2026 in the amount of $106,539.79 in AP checks, $37,074.24 in EFTs, an estimated payroll of $43,098.56, and insurance in the amount of $14,685.42 for a total of $201,398.01.
Move to approve total disbursements of $201,398.01.
Motion by Dave, second by Sine. And biggest reason that you're seeing the extra payroll cost is because we have 3 payrolls this month. So we've already had one on the 1st, and you're going to have one on the 15th again. And then we have one at the end of the month. So are there any questions as to the invoice register that was provided? No, barring none, roll call, please.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Mark Vance,
Yes.
Dave Allgood,
Yes.
Sine Hubbard.
Check disbursement in the total of $201,398.01 passes. Motion to discuss and approve ordinance 2026-12, an ordinance amending, Title 6, Public Ways, Chapter 2, Combined Waterworks and Sewages Systems, Section 6244 of the Code of Ordinances for the Village of Poplar Grove to correct an error in the ordinance 2026-08.
Move to approve, discuss or approve ordinance 2026-12.
Motion by Dave. Second by Sine. Aaron, if you'll just clear up the.
Yep. So this is a house cleaning item. These items were actually brought to you before. So what ended up happening is our office, Laura, created an ordinance to accomplish amendment to this chapter. Roxanne had previously earlier made changes to this ordinance that the board approved, but because Muni code wasn't updated there, it didn't have the latest version of the code with Roxanne's changes to it. When Laura went to draft her ordinance to this same section, she lifted it from Muni code and it didn't show Roxanne's changes in it. So you had two ordinances out there kind of competing with one another there. So it was literally just a timing issue that Muni code wasn't updated with the latest there. Our office has, in light of that situation, our office has kind of put together a procedure to double check and triple check, with the village clerk, so that we're not just working off of what Muni code shows online, but that we're checking, our own databases as well as the village's database, to making sure that anytime we draft an ordinance that changes the code, that we're incorporating or trying to catch as many of we have all the most recent code. So that's all this is a housekeeping matter.
Yeah, we happened to stumble across it because finally Municode has been able to get our outstanding ordinances finally listed, and we were looking at something filling out a form or something. I'm like, wait a second. And so that's when we discovered it. So we just want to get it cleaned up. So any questions?
Nope.
All right, roll call, please.
Sine Hubbard. Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Ordinance 2026-12 passes. Okay, motion to discuss and approve offer letter for David Howe as Public Works Director.
Move to discuss approve offer letter for David Howe, Public
Motion.
Works Director.
Motion by Dan, second by Sine. These came out, we talked about these in our executive session. These are the actual official letters. As I indicated to you in the village activities, it's actually at 4%, which is what the union contract act has as well. There is one minor error I do want to point out, is that David does get 3 weeks of paid vacation. This letter mistakenly says 2. It was brought to my attention by Aaron, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Are there any questions? Barring none, roll call.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Sine Hubbard. Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Motion letter, or offer letter for David Howe, Public Works, has passed. Okay, a motion to discuss and approve offer letter for Katie Jaster as Deputy Clerk, Community Development Coordinator.
Move to discuss and approve the offer letter for Mrs. J.D. Jaster as Deputy Clerk, Community Development Coordinator.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Dan. Any questions here? Barring none, roll call.
Sine Hubbard. Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Offer letter for Katie Jester has passed. Motion to discuss and approve offer letter for Renee Lampe as Customer Service Utility Billing Specialist. Motion by
Second.
Renee, second by Dave. Any questions here? Barring none, roll call.
Dave Allgood.
Yes.
Sine Hubbard. Mark Vance.
Yes.
Dan Cheek.
Yes.
Offer letter for Renee Lampe has passed. Okay,
Oh boy, oh boy.
motion to discuss Pitney Bowes Relay 5000 inserting system.
Move to discuss Pitney Bowes Relay 5000 inserting system.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Dan. Okay, so what you have in front of you are two proposals. One is for the purchase, the other is for a lease option. This is for the envelope folder and sorter that we use to do all of our penalty letters, all of the water billing, and any other mass mailing that needs to be done. For example, like planning and zoning, if they're has changes, and those letters have to go out to individuals. So we did budget for this item. I have run the numbers on the lease versus the purchase, and it is significantly cheaper to buy this item outright over the 3-year period in comparison, but I'm open to questions or concerns.
What's the expected life expectancy?
For this machine,
Yes.
yeah, anywhere between 7 to 10 years.
And how does the outright purchase compare to the lease economically?
It's about 50% cheaper. Hang on. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's significantly.
I know it was discussed prior budget cycle, and we never touched on it again. About making paperless, have to pay for paperless invoice or bills due to the high cost of postage. If we still entertain that, could we be phasing this out eventually anyways?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there'd still be people wanting paper, bills. But I mean, if we move forward with, what we discussed that one time, what was, like over $7,000 in postage a year, I think it was?
It's higher than
It's
that.
higher than that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well,
We spread it out so that it's equal amongst there's a portion that goes to the office, a portion that goes to water, and a portion that goes to sewer, right? Because it's used for various different functions. So right now we send out over on 1,500 bills, something like that. On a penalty cycle, we send out somewhere between 250 and 300 penalty letters every single month.
so beyond it being paperless, that's needed just for penalties.
General business, yeah.
General business.
I had during the budget meeting asked for some quotes to have this outsourced to. Did we get any of those numbers?
So I looked into it. Anything online isn't going to match our timeline because you have to remember we have to do state where, so the guys read between the 15th and 16th of the month, 14th, 16th of the month. I can't send out, the earliest I could send out to a printer is the 22nd because I have to have that late fee on there and I can't do late fees until the 21st. Then, or Renee can. And then that's not enough time. By our ordinance, we have to have the bills postmarked no later than the 1st. That's not just say we get them to the printer on the 22nd. It's not enough time for them to print them, post them, and postmark them by the 1st. I have one more person saying it might be they're local. They're out of Rockton. They do our envelopes anyways. But that's on a good day. Like we looked at November, like we're not getting them until the 24th. As soon as we could get them because the 20th falls on a weekend is the 24th. And then with the holiday in there, it just isn't going to line up. And that's the problem we had 8 years ago is people wanted like a 2-week turnaround once we gave them the file. And I can't have that. We can't. It doesn't match.
But she is in process of trying to acquire
More.
an official to see
Yeah.
if there's any other options. So
Well, on top of that, what's the cost for that service?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
yeah, they haven't been able to provide a definitive. And I know when they looked at before, there's an expedited charge for
Yeah.
the being able to meet those timelines. We don't know what that is yet, but there's an expedited cost to it as well. So, I mean, we're happy. This is just a discussion. So, I mean, we're happy to lay it over if that's what the board would like to do. Until any of those numbers can be presented.
Well, are we looking at any of the add-ons? Or are you just looking for the
So
base model?
it's we've looked at the base with the stacker. The other so when I ran these numbers for the difference, like it's significant. So for the 3 years for us to buy the purchase price with the annual maintenance, okay, which doesn't start until after the second year because the first year it comes with it. And then the add-on, right? So we get to 29,270.84. That's for the total 3-year cost. When you look at the lease option for 3 years, it would be over $70,000 to lease them.
But that was with the add-on the stacker, right?
Yes.
But with the lease, you have maintenance included, and with the purchase, we're adding
And that's what we do right now. We pay it quarterly.
Do we have a Pitney Bowes right now?
Yes.
How has that? Because I just have, I used to work for the bank and the, obviously those statements were bulky and they were particular, but that machine, I still have, feel like I have PTSD. And they were out all the time to do maintenance on it. So
I want to say he's out twice a year, and he's out in the last year, he's been out twice. And we called and he was out within 48 hours.
and they are the only ones that offer this, correct?
I mean, for this big is what we need. Yeah.
Is ours just
And-
out of date and beyond repair, or to just limping along?
Right now it has some issues as to how it's feeding the couple things. It's had problems with folding, right? Which we have things that have to be folded and we put flyers in it. And so then the other thing is we've had some issues with the envelopes getting stuck, and they've come out and they've played with them and flattened them and done a few things. And it works where we can get it to get through, but it's starting to have those kinds of concerns.
Deep
and
breaths,
issues.
Sinead, deep breaths.
You know? So, and granted, I wasn't here to watch the progression, but it seems to me from what the office staff has presented is that it has continually gotten to be more problematic, so we're at a point where and the one that we're looking at, this is a larger machine to be able to handle the other volumes and be able to handle, the kind of things that we're doing it. I think we've grown and just,
Well,
so, yeah, it's 7 to 10.
and how old is our current one?
Hold on, let me think. Before COVID,
But yeah, it's like right on 6 years, I think.
right on 6, so we're right at the end
Right
of
at the
it.
7.
7.
Uh,
Regardless, I find it hard to believe that, somebody out there can't provide the service externally, and even if it's expensive, I think we should do our due diligence and get a quote or something like that.
Yeah,
just-
I'm still trying.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So do we just want to hold this item over until the 27th?
Making the motion?
All right, I would like to, motion to hold this over until the next meeting, or do you want to?
No, I should have on the 27th. We should have at least our local one. There's other one out outside of, it's in Crystal Lake. I can call them, but from looking on their website, I'm not hopeful, but I will call them as well.
So we have a motion by Sine to hold
I'll
over
second.
until May 27th. We have a second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion to hold this item over until May 27th passes. Okay. While we're talking about equipment. Motion to discuss the purchase of Toshiba eStudio 6527 AC copy machine.
Move to discuss approved resolution 2026-22.
Back up. We're talking about it. We're talking about a copy machine. Motion to discuss the
Oh,
purchase.
no, I'm looking down too far.
Do you have a motion,
I
Dan?
don't have my glasses.
Stay in your lane.
Motion by Dan,
Second.
second by Mark. All right, so the copy machine. That's a whole other new fun piece of equipment. And I will tell you that it is time for it to leave the building. We've had them out numerous times to work on it. You still scan things in, and we get weird shading on the side. It does things crooked. It gets hung up, and we don't know why. And you put stuff through it, and there's nothing there. It's kind of like if you've ever seen Office Space where he wants to beat the machine. It's kind of like that, right? And we're at that.
Prove this. You guys gonna go to park lot and do it?
It's like, no, we're not going to do that. But and that's a workhorse. I mean, we print so much stuff. And it's about at the end of its life cycle as well. And so,
We got both the folding machine and this at the same time.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we're looking at this one. This is a better machine than what's there currently. So it will be able to do all of the capacity that we need. So
How did we arrive at the Toshiba brand?
So what we have is, I believe, is a Toshiba. And so Rockford Business Systems came out and we've been working with the owner and asked for them to give us their opinions of what we would need based on what we do and what we use the stuff for. And this is the next in the cycle, if you will. So, but other than that, you know.
Are they gonna honor that 15% discount?
So right now they're actually holding one for us at that rate.
I have an invoice sitting on my desk waiting for you to say yes.
Yeah.
So I want to echo what Trustee Cheek said earlier. I know we should campaign again to try to go as paperless as possible. And I would like to reiterate that we try to do that in this office as well. I come in here and there's paper everywhere. So I would like for us to try to commit to doing less of that if at all possible. I know that, you know, it's comfortable for some people, but it's, you know, it really is a drain on equipment and resources. So that's just my comment there. Try to do better.
I would also like to see a not more than cap put on this to guarantee that 15% is in place.
I think Carrie said she has one.
I have an invoice waiting to go into the next check run. As long as I get a consensus tonight to go ahead.
I either gotta see your face or you gotta speak louder because I'm not wearing
Okay.
my hearing aids.
I have an invoice sitting for the 10,000 on my desk, and it'll go in the next check run based on your consensus.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't wanna say we're you know,
Yeah.
we're approving a motion, you know, for, you know,
Well,
$10,183, and then we see the bill and it's 100 and, you know, it's 119,000, or, you know, it's 10,009 or 11,900.
Well, you're going to be able to like approve the warrant, right? So, right, it'll come back. Like we won't physically take possession of the machine until it gets paid for. So you'll be able to see that in the warrant when the warrants come around, if there's a consensus to proceed. So, but there's no way that we can sneak it in if that's what you're like, you know, kind of, you know.
I think the thing is, she has the invoice already.
Yeah.
So
For
it's
the
already
10,
locked
right.
in at this price.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
That's useful information that wasn't presented to the motion.
We typically not try to like make our exit before, you know, we get a yes, but I told them, I said, just go ahead and send it. So that way, if they say yes, we can process it. So, but they've been good to work with. I mean, I have no complaints with working with Rockford Business Systems. They've been pretty responsive.
Mr. All, we're gonna work on getting your packet.
I'm telling you, I might be the oldest person sitting up here. And quite frankly, I can't believe that the whole world hasn't gone paperless.
Do we have a consensus?
Consensus, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Motion to discuss and approve resolution 2026-22, a resolution of the Village of Poplar Grove, Illinois, approving the purchase of a 2026 Ram 1500 Express truck from Sam Lehman Auto Group.
Motion,
Motion by Sine,
Second.
second by Dan.
I already screwed it
I
up.
tried that a second time.
David, do you want to take this one? Your turn. You waited all night.
I was unable to get hard pricing a week out because stock rotating, things like that. I did get some numbers given to me. I do have final pricing as of this morning. It's $47,313.63. This truck is the express trim level, which replaces the tradesman level 2 package that our Ram 2500s are. With that, we have a 3.0 liter inline 6, which is comparable horsepower and torque to our 2500s, but in a 1500 truck. So we're going to see 20 to 26 miles per gallon with this truck, more fuel efficient, but we're not lacking in any power. I did reach out to some other dealerships, either couldn't get pricing or didn't have stock. The reason we chose Sam Lehman was because they have 6 different dealerships in central Illinois. They had a decent amount of stock. They have 2 on the lot right now. This will be waiving the bid process, which I talked to Roxanne last week. It's the same process we've used to purchase the other 2 Rams in our fleet. Unfortunately, with these type of trucks, we don't have a source flow contract. The intent would be to pick up the truck in the next 2 days, and then we would place the 2011 Chevy on Beckett. Right now, that has a KBB value of about $10,000. So hopefully we would get at least that on Ivan. We've had pretty good luck selling on there for the last 2 pieces of equipment. Any questions?
Yes. Payload difference between the 2,500 and the 1,500? Payload difference between the 2,500 and the 1,500?
Payload.
I don't remember off the top of my head, slightly less, obviously it's still 1,500 rather than 2,500, but with that engine, it gets it pretty comparable.
I think it's the payload. I know it's usually about 1,500 pounds different.
So now
I want to say this, it was like 12.
Yeah, my 25's got like 3,000. My last 1,500, which was comparable to that, was 14 something.
Yeah, the 3.0 motor is comparable to the 5.7 Hemi with significantly better fuel mileage.
I won't talk about the Hemi engine. But is the current 2,500 used for towing?
Yes.
And I'm sure the 1,500 has a lighter towing capacity. How is that impacted by stepping down to a 1,500?
This will be my truck. 1,500 now. It won't have any impact difference. What I tow now is garden trailers, tractors, material that we're picking up from Home Depot and Menards. I don't haul any of our heavier equipment that's designated
This is a picture of the vehicle that we have in the packet?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
Directly
short
up.
bed?
it's a 6-foot bed.
So it's a short bed.
Basically the same replacement as what we have.
All right.
Because you couldn't find a tradesman that you went to the Express.
So it's comparable pricing to the tradesman. This is just the replacement for the tradesman level 2, which is what we had in the 2,500s. This also has the aluminum bumpers rather than the steel. Wear and tear on those is going to be a lot better than rust on the steel.
Well, the reason I ask, I mean, you guys get to play in the mud a lot. And I know the tradesmen have the vinyl floors and the Express has carpet, does it not?
This has liner.
This does have it? Okay, I thought Express came with carpet. I was gonna
Like I
say,
said, this is a very similar package to what our 2,500s have. They essentially replace that tradesman level 2 with the Express.
put a little lipstick on it.
Yeah, more or less.
Well, I can see where you're coming from. You're gonna buy a truck, just buy a truck that's gonna work.
Well, the
and not be
tradesmen
used like a car.
are vinyl floors. When like I said, if they're out, digging up a trench or something like that, the carpeted truck would be, be pointless.
This has all the liners, very similar to what we have now. Just the 1,500 version. And like I said, this will be my truck. My truck will go into that, and then the 2011 will be sold.
Is there problems with the 11 or is it just cycle?
It's a 120,000 mile truck. Basically, I'm attempting to get on that cycle of getting the truck down to where it's worth $1,000 and we're selling it to another local municipality. Get some value back on it.
What'd you say that final price was you got this morning?
$47,313.63.
47, and you're hoping to get 10.
Yeah, we
that one.
budgeted 50 with nothing in return for the IBID. It'll just be pure revenue, whatever it is.
And they were about $2,000 to $3,000 cheaper than some closer local The other one we had was St. Charles, they were at 49.8 for the same truck.
I looked around. Antioch had some good deals on them. They still had some tradesmen in stock too. But yeah, it's comparable to what they're asking for this one.
And a lot of what I found was the 3.6, which isn't gonna provide that
No.
horsepower that this inline six provides.
Any other questions for David?
Yeah, we considered the additional cost of village identification on the vehicle.
The decal?
The decals are roughly $200 installed.
Yeah, I think for 4 of them, we got 5, oh, they were like 450.
Yeah. It's right around $200 for the decals.
Any other questions or concerns? Can we have a roll call, please?
Mark Vance,
Yes.
Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Dave Allgood,
Yes.
Sydney Hubbard.
Resolution 2026-22 passes. For the good of the village, Board of Trustees meeting, May of 27, 2026 at 7 p.m. Village Hall will be closed May 25th, 2026 for Memorial Day. Planning and zoning meeting, June the 9th at 6 p.m. Board of Trustees meeting, June the 10th. 12th Annual Neighbors Fest, June 13th, 2026, starting at 4 p.m. June meeting on the 24th of June. Village Hall will be closed June, I think you meant July 4th.
I meant July.
Yeah,
I'm
July
sorry.
4th, which makes sense to me. I don't know why I put June in there again. It's in there twice.
Yeah,
missed that part.
everything got
Doubled for some reason.
somehow.
All right, motion to go into executive session pursuant to 5 Illinois CS 120/2C1 personnel, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the public body or legal counsel for the public body.
Move a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 122 C1. Read the whole thing, girl. You're anxious, aren't you? You got a motion in a second.
All right, motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Dave Allgood,
Yes.
Sydney Hubbard, Dan Cheek,
Yes.
Mark Vance.
Yes.
Entering into executive session at 8:07 p.m. Let me turn these off for a second.
Turn off your mic.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm not online and I don't own a cell phone, so you send my envelope out with that stamp.
Poplar Grove and stuff like that. I can take on another meeting, man. Like, my wife will kill me.
Okay, well then you better not. That sounds.
Like, I can pinch hit, come in when I need to if there's specific topic, like, you know.
And then we have
stuff
the
like that.
motion to come back in, right?
Yeah, tell her essentially gotta take a free throw meeting for me.
Okay.
Turn back on your mic.
We're almost done. Hang on. All right, so we need a roll call coming back into regular session at 8:37 p.m. Wednesday, May 13th. Roll call, please.
Sine Hubbard. Dave Allgood. Aaron Zito. Chrissy Richardson.
Here.
Dan Sheik.
Here.
Mark Bantz.
Wonderful. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Sine and Mark, all in favor? No? All? Aye. Any opposed? No, we are adjourned at 8:37 p.m. Isn't that fun?